So I'll share my screen now. Hope you can see the screen. Can you see the screen? Okay. Okay. So last class, do you remember where we stopped last class? We started with minutes preparation. Okay. And minutes or meeting minutes, in short, we can call it as MOM. It is a written record of something that has happened or anything that has, whatever things discussed during a meeting will be recorded as minutes. And these are, it's also known as the minutes of meeting. And these minutes are written down to inform other people who couldn't attend the meeting, or usually it is conducted with a few people, with a few departmental heads or with few organizational heads, and then after finalizing the discussion, they will pass it on to their subordinates. So this is to be written down as a document, and this document, what are the do's and don'ts of meeting minutes? That is what we are going to discuss today. Okay. We are going to discuss about the do's and don'ts of minutes, meeting minutes. Is it clear? Okay, so the do's. What are the do's of minutes? So what do's means what all should be taken care of while writing down the minutes, and don'ts means what all we shouldn't do when we are recording the minutes of a meeting. So what are the do's? Let us see what are the do's of the minutes. So writing the minutes or recording the minutes, you may not need it immediately, but once you join certain organization or once you are a representative of a group of people, then you will have to write down the minutes. Okay, so let us see what are the do's. So the minutes should include the title of the group. That is, at the top of the group, the minutes should include the title of the group that is meeting. So if it is a marketing group, then the heading should be a marketing organizers or meeting minutes, etc. So the title depends on who is participating in the meeting. So anyway, there should be a heading for the meeting minutes. That is called the title. So it is the title of the group, the members who are meeting. Suppose they are all departmental heads, then we write it as departmental heads meeting. So the title of the group depends on the people who is meeting. So, and next is you should record the date, time, and the venue. That is, if it is happening today, then you should write date at the top of the page. Then the time should be written down, and also where the place is made. Suppose it is a boardroom, then the place of meeting should be recorded. So date, time, and venue must be there, and at the top of the meeting minutes. Then another thing is names of those. After that, we write the members present, members who are present in the meeting. So after writing these details at the top, next is the members who are present in the meeting. We have to list down the members who are present, and that includes the name of all those who attended the meeting. Excuse me 1 minute. Hello, sir. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, Nayanika. Okay, very good. So, now let us see what are the do's of the meeting minutes. So in the meeting minutes at the top, when you're writing a minutes of the meeting, then you will have to include the title of the group that is meeting at the top. Then you should write date, time, and place where the meeting is conducted. Then also you have to include the names of those who are attending the meeting after that. Then and also you should write the person who is recording the meeting. Out of these, out of 10 people who are present in a meeting, one person will be writing the meeting minutes. So who has written down the meeting minutes? That details also, the person's name also should be written. Then after that, after writing the names of people present, next comes the agenda. Agenda includes the main points that should be discussed in the meeting. So it will be in a single sentence or in a few words. The agenda will be listed down. And during the meeting, the agenda one by one will be discussed, and the discussion is what is included as minutes of the meeting. Each point in the mentioned in the agenda will be discussed in detail. And so, if there are 5 points mentioned in the agenda, the first point will be taken. The group members will discuss the points. Finally, they will arrive at a conclusion, and that final outcome will be recorded as the minutes of that particular point. So these are the main things that should be included in a while writing minutes. That is the title of the group, date, time, and venue, the names of people who are present, and also the person who is recording the minutes, and then the agenda. Agenda. These are the agenda includes the main points for discussion in the meeting. Now, then also the minutes should follow the agenda. After whenever the meeting starts, the agenda, the points mentioned in the agenda will be discussed one by one. And when writing the minutes after agenda, we write as minutes of the meeting or MOM. And then under minutes of meeting, we expand each point mentioned in the agenda. What were the points discussed? What are the final conclusions arrived? And what decision has been taken, etc. will be expanded as minutes of the meeting, and each point by taking each point from the agenda. So the minute should follow agenda with a summary sentence or two for each item along with the name of the person who presented it. Also, for each agenda may be presented by different people. So who has presented that point should also be mentioned in the minutes. So these are the things, the important things that should be noted while writing down the minutes of the meeting. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? When you are, suppose you are attending a meeting and you are asked to write down the minutes of the meeting, then the particular sequence in which you should write down is what I mentioned now. That is, on top there should be a title, and the title should include the group of people that who are involved in the meeting, and then it should include the date, time, and venue. The place where the meeting is conducted is venue, and then after that the agenda should be listed down, and agenda includes the main point of discussion during the meeting. And sorry, before agenda you should list down the members who are present. After listing down the members who are present, you have to note down the agenda or the main points of discussion. And after agenda comes the minutes of the meeting. The heading will be minutes of meeting itself, and under that you take point by point, one point for the first point from agenda, discuss in detail, and write down a summary note about what has been discussed. And also you have to note down the person who had presented the point. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear to you? Any doubts? Hello? No one is responding? Hello? Akarsh, okay. Only Akarsh heard what I said? Ashwin, okay, title, Akshara. Okay. Nainika, okay. So now we are going to discuss about the don'ts of the minutes of meeting. When you're writing down the minutes, what are the don'ts? We discussed the do's, now what are the don'ts? Now don'ts, include just a few points. That is, don't report details of discussion, especially who said what. Only the presenter will be mentioned. Who had put forward the agenda, that person's name will be mentioned, and there will be several people saying their opinion. We don't need to record who all said what all points. So just write a summary note, and also only one person's name should be mentioned. That is the person who had presented the agenda. And yeah, in the agenda, there are several points. Each point will be presented by different person. So just note down the person who had presented each point, and do not include, don't report details of discussion like who had presented what. Then next is, if items not on the agenda are discussed, and you have to note down. See, this is NOTE. Okay, note down means write down the same. If points not in the agenda are discussed, okay, you should note down the same, because if something extra is discussed, you should note down the same. Don't leave it without any record. If anything extra is discussed, you have to note down the same, and also such points should be mentioned separately. And once minutes are approved, then you have to destroy the notes or audio or video recording. If some recordings were carried out, then that should be destroyed if once the minutes have been accepted by all. So whatever you are writing down will be accepted by a chairman of that group or organization. Once he had approved it, then there is no need to keep any note or any audio or video recordings of the meeting. Then, okay, so that were those points were the do's and don'ts of minutes of meeting. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Shall I move on to the next section? Hello? Okay, Adarsh, okay. So, next is CV preparation. You're going to prepare your curriculum vitae. So before going on to that, we can let us go through the differences between biodata, CV, and resume and report. So what is the difference between biodata, CV, resume, and report? So these are the main things that we come across when we are applying for a particular job or giving our details to others. Either we give our biodata, or sometimes we give our CV, sometimes we give our resume, etc. And reports are different from all these three. So let us see what is the difference between these. So now let us look at what biodata is. So biodata, it is called biographical data. Okay, this the expansion of biodata is biographical data. Okay, so instead of calling it as biographical data, we have shortened it to biodata. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? What is the expansion of biodata? If someone asks you, you should be able to know what it is. What is the expansion of biodata? Anyone? Nobody heard it? Very good, Akash. Biographical data. Very good. TOEFL, okay, biographical data. Now, let us see what it is. So, it is a document that contains personal facts about a person. It contains personal facts about a person. So biodata contains personal facts about a person, and it may also include educational background, then professional background, then the skills of that person, hobbies, interests, strengths and weaknesses also, and achievements of the person. So this is regarding the person alone, that is his educational background, his professional background, what all skills he has in addition to his educational skills, educational background, then what are his hobbies, interests, and what are his strengths, weaknesses, as well as what are his achievements throughout during his academic or curricular or non-curricular, extracurricular activities. Now, then personal facts to be included in a biodata, it includes height, weight, father's name, mother's name, gender, complexion, caste, etc. So you can see that this biodata, it is more suited for those areas where we are giving our personal information and not regarding academics or any job information. It is for some personal information only. So it includes height, weight, and then your father's and mother's name, gender, complexion, caste, religion, the marital status, nationality, date of birth, address, etc. These are the things that will be that can be included related to a particular person in his biodata. Then the length of the biodata may be 2 or 3 pages only. The length can be 2 or 3 pages for professional purpose. And if for professional purpose, we delete some of these information. As said here, the complexion, etc., will be eliminated. So that is about biodata. It contains, it's a biographical data that contains information about a particular person. Now, let us see what CV is. CV stands for curriculum vitae. Okay, curriculum vitae. CV stands for curriculum vitae. It is a Latin word which means course of life. Curriculum vitae is a Latin word which means course of life. What throughout our life? What is there throughout our life? So it is a more detailed information. It gives more detailed information than resume, and it may be 2 to 3 pages longer. And what are those listed in a CV? In CV, it lists the skills, like just like earlier, it lists the skills. Then all jobs and positions that you had already held. In which, people might work in different organizations, so all the details from which year till which year this person had worked in which all places, along with the positions held, will be mentioned in the curriculum vitae. And also his degree, then professional affiliations required. That is, professional affiliations means what all post he had held, what are his professional address that he had been, and all these will be mentioned in chronological order. That means from beginning till date in year wise order. Okay. Then it highlights the general talents of a candidate. So curriculum vitae, looking at curriculum vitae, we should be able to find out a person's talent. And also the length of the curriculum vitae. There is no page limit for curriculum vitae. We said that biodata may be 2 or 3 pages long, and here there is no page limit for curriculum vitae. It is often larger in length than biodata and resume. Since curriculum vitae shows your entire course of life, what all you had gone through, what all positions you had held during your entire course, it may take people with good experience, or more than 10 or 15 years of experience. They will have to know, write down what all the positions that they had been that they held during their professional life. So this there is no page. It depends on the person. There no page limit is specified for curriculum vitae. Okay. The next is resume. It is a short summary. We said in curriculum vitae, we can write what all things the person had gone through during its lifetime in professional activities. And here resume is a short summary of your skills, education, experience, accomplishments, etc. and your talents. And good resume help you to get interview calls quickly. So when compared to curriculum vitae is more suitable for people who are experienced. But when compared to when we come to freshers, resume is the most suitable document for freshers when you apply for certain posts. And so mostly when you pass out and when you apply for jobs, then it is the best thing that you should use is a resume. So it is a short summary of your skills, education, experiences, then accomplishment, etc. So once you are experienced in a particular field, then you can go for curriculum vitae. So then a good resume will help you to get interview calls quickly. So depending on the more strength that you mention in your resume, the more chance will be there for you to get an interview call quickly. Then next, what is the length? Length can have up to 3 pages. Just like we said, the biodata also that is 2 to 3 pages. Here also the length can be up to 3 pages, and that depends on the experience and needs of the particular job. So anyway, in curriculum vitae, we said that there is no limit for pages, whereas in biodata and resume, the page limit can be 2 to 3. It can be limited from 2 to 3 pages. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear to you? What is the length of curriculum vitae? What is the length of CV? Anyone? What is the length of curriculum vitae? Hello? Two to three pages? Akash says 2 to 3 pages. Anyone else? Ashwin also says 2 to 3 pages. Then, no other answers? Do you have any other answer? Hello? I'm not getting any response from your side. Let us see what is the length, okay? See, in length I had mentioned here, there is no page limit for curriculum vitae. Did you see that, Ashwin? Did you see that? Akash and Ashwin, and also others who doesn't know the answer. The length of curriculum vitae, there is no specific limit for curriculum vitae. There is no specific length for curriculum vitae. It depends on a person's experience, isn't it? Hello, did you get the answer, Ashwin and Akash? Okay, so there is no specific limit mentioned for curriculum vitae, whereas the 2 to 3 pages is for resume and biodata. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear, Ashwin? Okay. What about others? No one is responding. What about others? Abhiram, are you present?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the length of curriculum vitae? What is the length? Akash, what is the length of curriculum vitae? You can type in your chat box. Ashwin. Okay, based on experience, and there is no specific length. Okay, there is no specific length. So now let us see what a report is. So we said there is biodata, curriculum vitae, resume, and next is report. Now, report is different from the other three, okay? And it is not related to any person, but it is related to certain studies that we form a report, which is a short, sharp, concise document written for a particular purpose and audience. We had studied about something, or we want to express our ideas to others. So we have a particular purpose. We write it down as a report and then present it before an audience. And that is what is known as a report. It is a short and very sharp. Very sharp means only the important points will be mentioned, and very small, concise means very small document written for a particular purpose and for a group of audience. Then it analyzes a situation or a problem. Often reports are submitted after studying a problem. We analyze the problem and then find out solutions to the problem and write it down as a report and we submit it. So it analyzes a situation or a problem and it makes recommendations for action. After studying the problem, we suggest certain recommendations, and those recommendations, it includes future actions to be taken. So is it clear? If suppose there is a problem in a city, they study the problem and then submit the report. And in that report, they will mention what the problem is and they will also suggest remedial measures, or they have certain recommendations for certain actions to be taken in order to solve that particular problem. Is it clear? So it is a factual paper. Okay, it is a factual paper means some problem is there, some problem exists, and we have to solve that problem. So it is a fact, not a fantasy. Okay, it is a factual paper and it needs to be clear and well structured. So it should mention clearly what the problem is and how we can solve the problem. Then it is a form, the form and contents of the report, it varies between organizations, departments, courses, or tutors. And so reports can be written by organizations, it can be by departments, or it can by tutors, the teachers, or it can be written for different courses, etc. So anyway, the contents or the format of the report varies for different organizations and different departments. The format that we follow in our organization may be different from the format that follows in another organization. Anyway, there is a means for unifying the reports, but when we present a report for a specific problem, then there is no need of any format. It will be depending on the organization to which we are submitting the report. Okay, so a report is written in order to, it is a fact, we submit report after studying a factual problem, and then we suggest certain recommendations for taking action. Now let us see what are the elements of a report. What are the contents of a report? Okay, so a report, it is a description of a sequence of events or a situation, and it is carefully referenced. So the person who is submitting the report, he should study the situation carefully, and he or she should refer the problem correctly. So and that problem will be stated as a sequence of events. Now, evaluation of facts or results of research. After specifying the situation, the report, the person who prepares the report will also write an evaluation of the facts or results of research. Then, hello, can you hear me? Okay, Ashwin. Okay, Akash. Then the report also includes discussion of the likely outcome of future courses of action. As we said earlier, we have to study and present the problem along with the action that needs to be taken should also be mentioned in the report. And finally, the future course of action. Along with that, we have to recommend which action to be chosen, and also finally we should conclude the report. Any report we write should have a conclusion. So these are the elements that should be included in a report. Specify the situation, evaluate the facts and results after doing a research on that problem, then discuss the outcome of the problem and how it can be solved using future course of action, and recommend which course of action to be chosen, and finally you have to conclude the report. Okay, is it clear? So these are the things that should be included in a report. So study the problem. Reports are written after analyzing or after studying a particular problem. So that problem or the situation should be carefully referenced. Then the facts or results of the research should be evaluated. Then you should discuss the possible outcomes for for your taking future actions, and then recommend any particular course of action that you need, and then finally conclude the report. Okay, so that is about curriculum vitae, CV, biodata, and report. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Is Shibilia here? Shibilia, number 28. Are you present? Number 28? So please tell her to call me, okay, after the class. Please tell her to call me. Someone, please inform her to call me. Okay. Then, for your third series, you will be having modules 4 and 5. Okay. Is it clear to you? You will be having modules 4 and 5. And the notes are uploaded in Linways. Both module 4 and 5 course notes are uploaded in Linways. So go through those course notes. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Any doubts? Okay. So all notes had been uploaded by August itself. Module 5 notes are uploaded. So you just go through those notes along with what I'm taking now. You should go through all those points which I'm discussing now. Okay. Now next is elements of style. Hello. Hello. Sir, ഇപ്പോൾ ക്ലാസ് സർ എസ്റ്റുവിൻ്റെ ക്ലാസ്സിലാണ് അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ സാറിനെ വിളിച്ചു ശരി. Hello. So can you hear me? So next is elements of style. Okay. An element of style means when you write a document like either a biodata or a CV or a curriculum vitae or a report, the style of writing, what all should be included in your style of writing, that is known as elements of style. Okay. The style of writing is very important to assess your abilities, your writing abilities. So what all things that you should consider when you write a particular document, that is what is discussed under elements of style, and it includes clarity, accuracy, brevity, that is briefly, you should write it briefly, then sentence length, paragraphs, and reader centricity. These are the 6 main things that we should consider when we write some report or any document, and these styles are called elements of style. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Hello. So study your portions, okay? Anyway, I'll be including questions till the last class where I stop, okay? Anyway, module 5, it is very easy. You can just read through the module, and I will include questions till the portion where I stop in 5th module. Okay. So now say your attendance, please. Say your attendance, please. Number 1. Number 1. Hello. Abhinand, absent. Number 2. Number 2. Abhinav. I can't hear you. Did you say your attendance? Okay, Abhinav, present. Then next, number 3.
Present.
Okay. Next. Okay.
5,
Okay.
6,
Okay.
7,
Okay.
8,
Okay.
9,
Okay.
10,
Okay.
11,
Okay.
12,
Okay.
30,
Okay.
14,
Okay.
15,
Okay. 16. 16, Ashwant. Absent.
17,
Okay.
18,
Okay.
19,
Okay.
20,
Okay.
21,
Okay.
22,
Okay. 23. Okay. 24. Devika, 24. Absent.
25,
Okay. 26. Absent. 27.
27,
Okay, 27 at present. 28. Absent. 29. Absent. 30.
30,
Okay, 30 present.
31,
Okay,
32,
okay,
33,
okay,
34,
okay,
35,
okay,
36,
okay,
37,
okay. 38. 38 absent. 39.
39 present.
Okay, 40.
40,
41,
Okay,
42,
okay,
43,
okay,
44,
okay,
45,
okay,
46,
okay,
47,
okay,
48,
okay. 49. Absent.
50,
50. Okay, present. 51.
51, 51,
Okay. Okay, okay. 51 present. Next.
52,
Okay.
53,
Okay.
54,
Okay.
55,
Okay.
56,
Okay.
57,
Okay.
58,
Okay.
59,
Okay.
60,
Okay.
61,
Okay.
62,
Okay.
63,
Okay. So absent is number 16, 24, 26, 28, 29, 38, 49, 49. Okay, these are the absentees. So those who have not submitted your assignments, please upload in Linways. Okay, if you can't upload, please let me know. Okay. So thank you.